Welcome to Facts TV News, where everything is true. 17-year-old girl in police custody after student killed at Kingston Technical. Police have taken a 17-year-old female student at the Kingston Technical High School into custody following the killing of a 16-year-old girl from the same school. The dead girl has been identified as grade 11 student Miss Jan Campbell, who was reportedly from the Kingston 2 area. Information reaching reporters is that about 2:45 p.m., both students were at school when a dispute developed between them. The altercation turned into a fight. During the fight, it is alleged that Campbell was stabbed to the left side of her neck and left side of her forehead. The other student received injuries to her left wrist. Both girls were taken to the Kingston Public Hospital, where Campbell succumbed to her injuries and was pronounced dead, and the other student was treated and released into the custody of the police. Up to late Thursday afternoon, police were working on processing the scene. Kartel transferred to GP. Controversial entertainer Vybz Kartel was transferred to the Tower Street Adult Correctional Center, commonly known as General Penitentiary GP. The move was reportedly executed on Thursday afternoon during heavy rains and reportedly follows a Fox 5 interview done by Lisa Vybz and Kartel's assumed Turkish fiancé. Kartel's transfer had since prompted the artist's lawyer to express concern for his client's health and safety. He said the transfer itself was deliberate and/or negligent and unacceptable. Transferring Mr. Palmer in the rain, causing him to get wet, given a medical condition in an attempt on his life, said attorney at law Issa Buchanan. Vybz Kartel has been hospitalized a few times for undisclosed reasons during his 11-year incarceration. Buchanan said no reasons were given by the Department of Correctional Services DCS for the move. His case is before the highest court of this island. I am very disappointed that taxpayers' money is being wasted for fishing expeditions and PR stunts, the lawyer said. Buchanan also questioned the timing of the transfer, as it was executed in the wake of the now viral interview with Vybz and his fiancée. The move comes following an airing of an interview on Fox 5 by his fiancée, as well as the eve of the anniversary of his arrest 11 years ago, Buchanan said. His fiancée told journalist Lisa Vybz that she and Kartel got engaged in the summer of 2022 during an authorized prison visit. Last month, Kartel dedicated his upcoming EP, True Religion, to his fiancée and shared new photos of her visiting him at Horizon Adult Romance Center in Kingston. The EP is scheduled to release on Friday, September 30. It is not the first time that Kartel has been housed at the Tower Street Adult Correctional Center. GP was built to accommodate 650 male inmates, but has developed a reputation for being overcrowded. Kartel was being held at Horizon Adult Romance Center after he was initially removed from GP. The artist is currently awaiting the outcome of his murder appeal at the Privy Council in London. He has been in jail since 2011 for the murder of an associate named Clive Lizard Williams, along with his co-accused fellow artist Sean Storm and two others, Kenward Jones and Andre St. John. Since Kartel's conviction in 2014, the DJ has maintained his innocence. On April 3, 2020, a three-member Jamaican Court of Appeal panel upheld Kartel's 2014 murder convict. The Kingston court released a 235-page opinion on that day. The court also upheld the convictions and sentences for dancehall artist Sean Storm, as well as Jones and St. John. Father in fatal shooting of son questioned by police and released. The father of Raheem Shaw, the 15-year-old Woolmer's Boy student, who was shot dead at his home on Wednesday morning, was interviewed by the St. Catherine South Police in the presence of his lawyer, Peter Sharpney, on Thursday and released. Senior Superintendent of Police Christopher Phillips, head of the St. Catherine South Police, said the investigations are continuing. We are in the process of completing the file, which will be submitted to the Director of Public Prosecutions. The mother was questioned already, SSP Phillips said. Raheem, a member of the Form 5R at Woolmer's Boy High School, was fatally shot by his father, who is a licensed firearm holder at their East Cave Home Drive in Hellshire, St. Catherine. Initial reports suggest that the father may have mistaken the young teen for a blogger. Reports are that the mother alerted the father that someone may have been attempting to gain entry to the house. The father proceeded to the front door and discharged 3 rounds from his 9mm pistol through a glass in the door. It was discovered that the teen had been shot. He was taken to the Spanish Town Hospital where he was pronounced dead. Efforts to get a comment from prominent attorney at law Peter Champagne KC proved futile. Decomposing body found in barrel at Hersher Swamp. The decomposing body of a man was found in a barrel in a swamp along the Hersher Main Road in Portmore, St. Catherine, late Thursday afternoon. The body, which up to press time was still unidentified, was reportedly found by a passerby at about 3:40 p.m. The police were alerted. When the lawmen made checks, they observed what appeared to be the upper section of a male in a barrel in the swamp. The ear was cornered, and following investigation, the body was removed. The police said further investigations would be conducted. Education Ministry maintaining stance on discouraging student lockout at schools. The Ministry of Education and Youth continue to encourage teachers and other administrators not to deny students entry as a form of disciplinary action for infrastructure deemed to breach in the established rules. Schools are not allowed to do that. There are too many risks associated with that. Once a student steps on the school compound, we act in the place of parents. I've consistently said that there should not be any locking out whatsoever of our students from school, Portfolio Minister Vybz Williams said during Wednesday's post-cabinet press briefing in Jamaica House. Still, with that said, Williams expressed that the ministry will continue to advocate for students' adherence to school rules in order to maintain order and discipline among the youngsters. She noted that schools are ideal place to teach students the importance of obeying established rules. While we oftentimes shake our head about the disorder that exists in our society, we are all responsible for that disorder in terms of some of the decisions we make on a day-to-day basis, she said, while encouraging well-thinking citizens to consciously think what it is that you'll be doing to make sure that law and order is maintained in our schools and country as a whole. The minister also called for greater intervention that will aid in the increasing participation in Parent Teachers Association (PTA). In those cases where PTA meetings are not working, let us work on getting those to work at schools which have low participation. That is what we should be putting our energy into in terms of working through issues and disagreements that we may have, she said. Nightmare. Andrew Stewart was destined to die on September 29, 2022. His girlfriend, who requested not to be named, told reporters that hours before the 38-year-old ex-soldier was murdered on Sunlight Street in Arnett Gardens about 8 a.m., he had dreamed that he was shot by gunmen. I got a dream early in the morning, say him there, somewhere in the country, and them shot him up. In the dream, he held on to his chest and said, "Why them want kill me? And me no do nobody nothing." He then said, "Me sorry say me come so come live. Me no know why me never stay me yard." I woke him up about 3 a.m. and said, "Babes, me get a dream and it a ride me. Me dream said them shut you up." I told him not to come out of the house, she related. The girlfriend said that at sunrise, Stewart phoned one of his 3 children to tell them that he loved him. Minutes after 7 a.m., he went outside, fixed his motor vehicle but couldn't. He was constantly making calls to see if he could get a mechanic to look at it for him, and he'd come out of that problem. Apparently, he left out with the intention to see if he could find one nearby. Sections of the community are currently at war. It was while he was returning home that the car shut down in enemy territory, she told reporters, explaining that there is an ongoing conflict between men from different sections of the community. He came out and opened the bonnet and looking at the engine to see if he could find out what was really happening. While his head was down, they pounced on him. I was in the house when I heard rapid explosions. He left his phone, so I couldn't get to call him to see what was the problem. I went around to where I heard the explosions coming from and saw him down on his front in this car. I collapsed same time. 2 people took me, she recalled. Sobbing occasionally as she spoke to reporters, Stewart's clearly traumatized girlfriend of 8 years was convinced that he would still be alive had he heeded her plea for him to remain at their home in the section of the community known as Zimbabwe. Him should have just listened to me when me tell him said don't go anywhere because of the bad dream. I also told him that inside of me was hurting, but he was stubborn, she said. One of Stewart's neighbor, who explained that she enjoyed a close friendship with him, expressed fear that his murder could intensify the violence in the community. She remembered him as a full person and said she was puzzled why he chose to drive on Sunlight Street, which is known as a no-go zone for Zimbabwe residents. In this community, 1 minute them say peace and the next minute them say war. This murder can lead up to bad things, but I am trusting God that nothing like that will happen. I don't know what he was doing over there. There is a war going on, and none at all him should have ever go over there so. Andrew was a good youth, wherever jovial. When you say anything to him always laugh, the neighbor related. I don't know why the devil told him to go over that side. I will always remember him as a man who can do anything for you. And in the week him did a tile out my house. Him not even finish it. You can call on him any little thing. And him normally pull out him car and fit it up back. Me just sorry say him have to go and go losing life like this. It is really heartrending. May his soul rest in peace, she added. A shopkeeper in the community said Andrew wasn't a bad person and recalled him greeting her by saying, "Hi, Mommy," every time he walked by her shop. One of her customers described him as a genuine person. Him always a hail me. Sometimes would ask for a hug. I am sorry to know that somebody who I could talk to just went out like that, she said. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, and click the notification